No way he would place that in my heart or in my husband's heart the way that he has when it's not meant for us. Alright, hello everyone and welcome to my channel. If you are new here, I'm Brianna and I usually make nursing content, and I actually haven't made anything in quite a while. But if you're not new here, this is something completely different from my channel, but it's something that God has been speaking to me about for quite a while at this point, and I've kind of been ignoring it. But I know it's something that I need to speak on because when it was happening to me, I was looking for help in all directions to kind of really understand what was happening to me. And yeah, so now I'm here and I want to be able to make this video in order to help someone else know while they're going through it that they're not the only ones, and that it's actually quite common to experience. So I'm going to talk about my chemical pregnancy. I'm going to talk about what was happening to me, how I was feeling. I may get emotional. I already feel myself getting emotional, but yeah. So if family is watching this, this is something that, you know, I go around so many people and they're like, well, why, are you wanting to have kids, or you trying to have kids? When are you going to have kids? Like, and I just feel like this needs to be put out in the open so that people can know that's not an okay question to ask. I know it's something that's harmless that people ask all the time. They feel like it's the next step after you get married. But this, I haven't told anybody in my family, but like I said, if you're watching this, this is why. And just try to be considerate moving forward now that you know the people around you seem like they have it all together and whatever. They might be trying to have kids. They might have been trying for a while, but it's been hard. They might have gone through having a miscarriage or a chemical pregnancy or whatever, and it's difficult for them. It's not easy for everybody to just fall pregnant, and it needs to be put out in the open that it's not common. It's very hard, actually. So anyways, let's start from the beginning. So last year in December, me and my now husband had been together for a little over 6 years, and we decided, he had proposed to me at the end of 2019, and we decided to have a COVID wedding. So we got married in my living room, and it's about to be a year. I can't believe it, but yes. And we knew from literally the third week of being in our relationship years ago that we wanted to have kids, and we wanted to have a lot of them. So as soon as we got married, a couple months had passed. I am a nurse, and it was during the pandemic. I decided to pick up a couple travel assignments, but once I finished, we decided that I'd get a job, a steady job, so that I'd have health insurance so that we could have babies. So we started trying to have kids in May. I'm going to school to be, I was going to school to be a midwife. Now I'm going to school to be a women's health NP, so I don't have to worry about call, but that's another video to do. But so I know the process. I know everything that I needed to do. I know what I need to be testing for. So when you're trying to conceive or TTCing, you're getting the ovulation predictor kits or the OPKs. You're tracking ovulation. You're tracking your cycles. You're testing early and watching for those lines to get darker. So we started trying the end of May. I was in my 2-week wait, and I decided to start trying to test early once I got to day 10. This is now the beginning of June. I tested the day before I left to go to my cousin's wedding. We were going to California, and we were about to go finish packing up. I got off work, and I'm like, I had tested that morning before I went to work, and it was negative. And I was frustrated. I was really upset. I was just really questioning God at that point, because I'm like, why? And it was really early to even be doing that. But yeah, so I tested before I went to work that day. It was negative. I went to work. I was stressing all day, and then I got off work. We went to finish packing to prepare to leave for the next morning, and I'm like, well, let me just test again. I don't know why, but I was like, let me just test again. Probably because I was anxious and I wanted it, So I ended up testing, and it was positive. A very faint, well, not even very faint positive. It was there, and I told my brother, and I told I told my friend, and I told my husband, because I couldn't really hold it in. I wanted to surprise him, but he knows me, so I literally had walked away on the phone, talking to my friend, and I was telling her about it, and I like had this look on my face. But he ended up walking in the kitchen, and he saw me, and I was just like, he's like, what's going on? So I told him, I'm like, I just took a test, and it's positive. We were so excited. We didn't actually really believe it, so I ended up taking another test, and again the line popped up. So we're like, I'm pregnant. So super excited. We ended up getting on the plane the next morning to go to California, and on the flight, I'll never forget, we were looking at my phone on Pinterest. Flights are like, so I haven't been on a flight in a freaking long time, but we were able to get Wi-Fi on the plane. That's crazy to me. See, I'm getting emotional. But looking at baby rooms and how we want to set up the nursery. We were talking about how we're gonna fix the house up to set it up so that we'd be prepared for, when the baby arrived. So yeah, we went out there, and me knowing what I know, the whole time that we're out there, I'm taking tests. So I took the test the night before. I went to take the test the next day, which would have been my 11 days post-ovulation, and line was still there. Wasn't as dark, but I wasn't super nervous about it or anxious about it, because I know that it will start to get darker every 2 days. So I was expecting it to be a little bit darker, but not much, so I didn't freak out. And then the next day came, and I took a test, and it was the same. It was the same color. It hadn't gotten any darker. It was just as faint. And that's when I started to freak out. So I was literally going to the stores after the wedding. I went to the store middle of the freaking night, went to a 24-hour CVS and bought more pregnancy tests. I took another pregnancy test literally a couple hours later because I was freaking out. I was really freaking out, but I knew something was wrong because like I said, I know the process. So tried to keep the faith, but with me knowing what I know, it was just really difficult. I took more tests. They were all faint, and then as the days went on, they got fainter and fainter until I ended up starting my period. But because it was a chemical pregnancy, well, actually the day before I was supposed to start my period, or was going to start my period, I was so anxious I ended up going and getting a blood level drawn of my HCG, and it was 0.6, I believe. Or no, it wasn't 0.6, it was 6. I don't know, but I was right on that cusp of like, you're like barely pregnant, but you were pregnant, because your HCG wouldn't be above like 5 or whatever if you weren't pregnant. So I knew something was up. Like I was above it. It was like 6 or 6.6 or something like that. It was above it, but right on the cusp. So okay, I'm like, at this point I'm like, okay, I'm not pregnant anymore. Like the implant, it didn't work. I didn't take the baby. I know I'm gonna be having a chemical pregnancy or early miscarriage at this point. So anyways, I went to the doctor the next morning, and I told them what was going on. Alright, y'all, so my camera storage was full, so I had to go through the whole process of deleting everything and all that. But okay, so like I was saying before, I was so rudely interrupted. we were talking about me going to the doctor. So I got in like a last minute appointment to go see the doctor. Again, just being anxious. Even though I felt in my head and felt in my heart, I knew what was going on, I still wanted to go see the doctor. But she made me feel so stupid. I told her that I got positive test results. She asked me if I knew that it was accurate, and I'm like, okay, well, it's not gonna pop up if I don't have HCG in like a higher level of HCG in my system. So what do you mean, do I know if it's accurate? But anyways, saw her, didn't like her too much. Literally right before I went in to see her, I started bleeding, and then it got heavy. What she did tell me at the appointment was that I was gonna have a regular period and it was gonna be normal. I shouldn't have any pain or anything like that. That was a lie. So what I experienced was, came home, I ended up going with a friend to Barnes and Noble, and I just needed to kind of get away with what I had going on, and I was talking to her about it. In the middle of walking through Barnes and Noble, I stopped, like literally, actually no, we had just walked out to leave, and I had stopped dead in the middle of the freaking road, and I was like halfway hunched over crying. I'm like, I'm getting a sharp pain in my pelvic area, and it just does not feel right. Like, I get cramps. Every cycle I get cramps, my first or second day. This was not, it did not feel like cramps. Like, I was really hurting, to the point to where I drove us to the store. She had to drive us home, and then had to get my husband to take her home because I picked her up. I couldn't do it. So we got to the house. Literally, I came right into the house. My husband went to take her home, and I was on the floor, doubled over. I had to call my best friend, and she came here. After she got here, and she was with me, we went to the bathroom, and I won't talk about what went on in there too much in detail because it could be grossing some people out, but what I felt was not normal. It wasn't a normal period coming out of there. So, because I don't know how people are going to react to this, especially if family's watching. So I was literally so overwhelmed and emotional that day. My best friend was there with me throughout the whole process and really just kind of helped me through it. But again, I just wanted to make this video because I want people to know, first of all, that having chemical pregnancies and pregnancy not being easy to come to you is normal. Especially with me being in this field now that I'm going into, being a women's health nurse practitioner and learning about this. It's only a 20% chance to fall pregnant every time you try. And then all of that coupled with the fact that you have to really make sure you're tracking your ovulation days correctly with your OPKs, and you're getting it in on the right days and all of that stuff. But know that you're not alone. It's a process. The first month this happened, that we were trying, I was working out consistently. I was eating healthy. I'm not overweight. I don't have any other health conditions. I am in tip-top shape. Like, every month that we've been trying since. So that was in May. We're in October now. We have been trying every month, and I work out, like I said, work out consistently. I don't eat healthy all the time, but I do for the most part eat a decent diet. I take my vitamins. I've been taking prenatals. I've been taking maca. I've been doing literally everything, drinking my water, antioxidants. I've been doing everything that you read online, and I still am not pregnant, and nothing's wrong with me. It just takes a while, and that's something that I had to come to grips with. So if you're watching this and you're in the process of trying to conceive, and you went through the process of having a miscarriage or a chemical pregnancy, you're not alone, and it's a process. Give yourself grace. I was very hard on myself after the fact, saying that it was me. Something was wrong with me. There was something that I did wrong, and that is not true. So know that it's not you. It's not never gonna happen. I really truly have faith in God. Like, every month that we try, it hurts a little bit, but I've become so strong in the fact that I know that my God would not put this in my heart to want babies so much and love them so much. I work with them every day in my job, and I see them, and I'm like, I cannot wait until that's me. There's no way he would place that in my heart or in my husband's heart the way that he has when it's not meant for us. So it's gonna happen. You have to stay faithful, stay prayed up, and keep trying, because recognizing that it's hard. It's really hard, but it's hard for a lot of people, really kind of helps you to know that it's not you, and it just takes time. All right, y'all, apparently I need to wrap it up because my camera died. So I just want to leave things off on a good note, and go over some of the scriptures and some of the things I had to keep telling myself in order to press through and be how I am right now, still in this process, but keeping the faith in God and knowing that it's going to happen. So he was speaking to me, as always, in the midst of what I was going through last month, when I ended up getting more negative pregnancy tests and starting my period all over again. I ended up going on Pinterest, and I saw a like prayer and scripture list called Seasons of Waiting that had a bunch of scriptures, and I'm like, what more could he throw in my face right now to sit here and read? It literally says Seasons of Waiting, and right now I'm waiting on this baby who's going to be so loved when they get here. So just a couple that I want to share. Psalms 27 and 14. Wait for the Lord, be strong, and let your heart be courageous. Wait for the Lord. Wait for him. Like I said, he would not put this desire in my husband and my heart if it was not meant for us. Luke 1:45. Blessed is she who has believed that the Lord would fulfill what he spoke to her. What he has spoken to her. He spoke to me. Again, I'm telling you, it's going to happen. And then Hebrews 11 through 12, when it talks about Sarah and how she was barren and she ended up getting pregnant. Those three scriptures really have been sitting with me. I know it's going to happen. I know that God is faithful. So leaving you off on those notes, stay prayed up, stay faithful. It's going to happen. I love you, and you're not alone. I hope you guys have a wonderful day.